Start promptly. So good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the Monday, May 8th, Radnor Township Board of Health, and we'll call it to order. Stand up and do a pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, well, happy spring. I hope everybody's enjoying the beautiful day and all the blossoms. So did everybody have an opportunity to review the meeting minutes from last month, March? Yes, no? Yes. Do we vote to approve? One? Second? Okay, great. Meeting minutes from March 18th are approved. Thank you very much. Okay, so could we have the health officer's report, please?
Sure.
Marie?
Good evening. 21 food safety inspections were conducted this month. 8 pool inspections were conducted. We had 2 CPR classes held this month, or actually in March. The next scheduled CPR class is this month on the 23rd at 7 p.m. The cost is $45, and you can pay it in person at the police department window. April 27th is the 19th annual Katie Sampson Foundation Lacrosse Festival at Radnor High School from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Under public health concerns, I just want to mention we had 2 serious dog bites, one to a woman and then one to a child this month. So we really just want to reiterate that, to the residents that, it's the law to vaccinate your dog. Keep them under your control at all time, as well as pick up after them. And then I'll just mention that Radnor PD put out a safety message for Uber and Lyft, and I think you were going to talk more about that, Linda. And then I emailed the Department of Health alerts. If anybody has any questions, just let me know.
I do. There's a kind of a cross between your health alert notices and the notion of your pets need to be vaccinated, and that is there is an outbreak of what was thought to be eradicated disease in the Pacific Northwest, focused in an area where there are a lot of unvaccinated school-age children, and there is an outbreak of mumps on a Pennsylvania college campus. The overwhelming majority of the cases are in unvaccinated individuals, and I wonder whether we as the Board of Health have some obligation to look at what is the policy of our Board of Education, what is the policy of the township regarding vaccination and the enforcement of vaccination, in that the science is pretty straightforward, the evidence is pretty strong, and do we have any obligation to act in the public interest to assure that we're not a township where such an outbreak might occur? And that might be new business, but since we're talking about vaccinating our dogs, we might want to talk about vaccinating our children.
I think that's a really good point. We don't have a representative currently from the school, correct, Commissioner Nagel? So we're in search for that, but this would definitely be something we'd be very interested in hearing about in terms of protecting our youth and our public around the safety of mumps. I know vaccine immunization status is required, but I don't know if it's mandatory or, what the policies are for Radnor Township School District. So Commissioner Nagel, any ideas?
None whatsoever. I mean, it's only really the last few years that this has become an issue. But I'll reach out to the school board and find out.
I wonder, is there any contact, maybe the school nurse or somebody that we could, the high school nurse might be a contact or a source?
Well, it would be appropriate for our health officer to reach out to them and confirm, especially with the mumps being in Philadelphia, and I heard it was in Westchester also.
I've been in contact with some of the nurses in the school district, so I'm happy to reach out to them and get some information.
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe if you could find out if they have a policy or procedure for the parents, like a student handbook sort of thing, to get some ideas of what is expected when children register for school, that sort of thing. And I see in the packet that, I don't know if this will be posted on the Pennsylvania Department of Health, what we're referring to as the mumps outbreak at one of the universities in Philadelphia. And it really speaks very nicely to, people that could possibly be exposed, using droplet precautions, those that have received, 2 doses of the mumps, measles, and rubella vaccine, and maybe getting a 3rd vaccine, and those people who have really had the full series of the mumps vaccine, if they've been exposed to somebody who has maybe in close contact with somebody that's positive, that they can get a booster shot of the mumps vaccine. So I would encourage, I don't know if we could post this maybe on the Township website, because I think there is a level of fear and of people being exposed, but it really talks pretty nicely to follow up, self-isolation, that sort of thing.
I also think it'd be important to find out what the law is. Because we have in our township not only the public schools, but many private and parochial schools, as well as colleges. So we have a lot of young people here. And it would be of interest to find out exactly what the law is in terms of vaccination.
So we can reach out, and I'm sure Radnor Township probably mirrors the law, would be my expectation. So, that would pretty much mirror that. I mean, it would probably be a state law. Don't you agree?
Have to be, I don't think it's township or county level. I think it's state law, and then I just think this is probably something we should carry through. It might have a couple of different arms, but I think communicable disease prevention is one of the ways that we can be of assistance to support the Board of Commissioners, and so I'm happy to work with you, Linda, if you want me to work with you to try and figure out what we do have and what's done for enforcement, and how we can promote compliance with the law, and as you point out, not just with vaccination, but also with communicable disease
Well, flu, et
prevention.
cetera. So that would be great. I would be thrilled if you could take that, Dr. Simmons, and maybe take that ball. And maybe, I was thinking on the way here, I thought, boy, it'd be great to have a point person to look each month at, like, what, disease surveillance, flu, and give an update, that sort of thing.
Sure.
So, yeah, if you could start with this, that would be great.
So my plan would be to work with Marie, maybe get in touch with Lisa and get a sense if she has an overall sense, work with the board and see what we can do around the multi-arms of that, mumps, measles, flu.
This is kind of a dumb question, but what's the age cutoff for getting a vaccine? I think I'm past it, but...
The mumps, MMR?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's a great question. I don't know that there's a policy. Sticking with my age, so I won't be offensive, I was immunized, but if I weren't, I don't know that there's a policy on immunization for those of us who are superannuated beyond the school age. I'll look into it.
Just as some insight, when my grandchildren were born, my daughter insisted that my wife and I both get MMR boosters because the children are unprotected
Right.
for that first time
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, so I'm clearly not the expert on this, and I'm looking real quickly at this advisory from the Department of Health, Pennsylvania, and it really doesn't outline it. I know it's a series, for young children, but I'm not knowledgeable on this. So it would be good to have some direction and understanding. All right, so thank you, Marie, that's it? You're good, good?
You wanted me to post the alert on the website, is that?
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
wonderful.
okay.
Right, and then we'll get some more information around some specifics around age and that sort of thing. to
I don't think
follow.
I tagged you guys on the email, but just so you know that I did put together a fact sheet from the CDC and some information for our residents, and I did put that on the website probably, I guess, about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, great, thank you so much, that's great. All right, on to some old business, so recommendation on gas leaf blowers. I don't know if that was forwarded to the commissioners, if it was discussed? Okay, do you know if it's on the agenda or any follow-up? Okay, so maybe we can put it on in a couple weeks?
Especially now that we're into lawn care season, and I'll bring it up.
Thank you very much, that would be great. Update on the student project plans, Phil and Lou?
Yeah. So I see we're scheduled for June, but recently we've been focusing on the Teen Health Week tweets, which we did last week. Our last one was yesterday, actually. And every day there was a specific theme. For example, one of them was about nutrition, oral health, and another one was about gender and sexual development. So we sent out a tweet each day, and you can see it on the Radnor Board of Health Twitter relating to each theme.
And I think I have a projection of it, so I have your tweets I'm going to project in a few minutes, but they look great. And I actually went on the Radnor Board of Health site, so there's a few people that looked at it.
Good.
So that's great. And then you'll do your teen sleep
Yes.
in June. Great, thank you. Awesome. The West Nile Surveillance Program, so we have somebody that they have a couple candidates, I understand, for mosquito-borne vector coordinator.
Yes, I heard from the assistant director from Delaware County Intercommunity Health today, and they stated that there are 2 candidates for the coordinator position, and they will be making their decision, and everything should go on as scheduled by May 1st.
That's terrific news. And they're looking for also 2 techs, I understand, May through October to assist with the coordinator, correct?
Yes, as far as I understand, applications have been received, but I don't know if they haven't said they chose anybody for the tech position.
That's great news, really great news. All right, and then we were going to follow up on Dr. Carabassi's survey on suicide prevention and township school programs initiatives. So thank you for doing that, Joan. It was wonderful. So we sent that out, and we just wanted to discuss it here and how we wanted to move this forward and disseminate these great resources to the schools that were surveyed. So we wanted to get everybody's input. Did everybody have an opportunity to look at it? Okay, so this was March 27th. Dear school administrators, counselors, teachers, she thanked them for participating in the informal survey. So do you want to take it away and discuss a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I broke it down to simply all schools have some level of suicide prevention programs, initiatives in their schools, and they vary in the depth and breadth. And that's really all that I could say, given the fact that we had to maintain anonymity. And what I thought was more important than anything were the resources that I got from everybody that I would like to forward to each of these schools, and I think they would be very helpful. And I know a couple of schools in particular that would be very appreciative of them. Excuse me. That's.
So do we want to take a vote or just say we approve and could send it out?
Yeah, I think that would be great. I mean, I don't see anything in this report that they could anyway figure out who was on first and what was on second. And even with the schools that weren't in the school district, they wouldn't even know what they are. I just said 2 schools that border Radnor Township, so that could be anything. So
I think you did a great job of taking what was a really good report to start with and
Thank
boiling
you.
it down and making
yeah,
it.
break it down to nothing.
No, to the essentials, and the question is, how can you get somebody to pay attention? It's a whole lot easier to get people to pay attention to a 2-page report than a 10-page report. I don't even remember how long the initial was, but this is really well done, well constructed, and if they can't figure out what to do with it,
Great.
I don't know what more you can do. So I think by acclaim, we should approve.
Okay, all right, so it's okay for me to send it out to these schools?
I
then?
think so.
Okay.
It's succinct, to the point, extremely valuable information, and hopefully, who knows, preventatives for someone
Right.
down the road. I would really like to have this on the website as well. I
Okay.
know I'm putting a lot of stuff on the website, but I think this would be extremely helpful to have maybe a heading under the Board of Health with suicide prevention resources.
Great, okay.
Right.
All right,
Thank
well,
you so
No,
much.
thank you.
It was really great. So I know you put a lot of time and effort, and we're very grateful.
You're welcome.
Linda, you want me to post the summary on the website?
Yeah, so I don't know if there's a way that we could maybe put something on the Board of Health page where we could click it and link it to these resources. Is that possible?
I think we could probably figure it out.
Okay, that'd be great. I think she put a lot of work and effort into it, and it'd be very valuable. Or even maybe on the homepage, the Township homepage might be valuable, because I think people don't dig around to the Board of Health to see what's there, so I don't know who would give permission to that, but I think that would be great. Superintendent Flanagan, do you have something? He's great. Welcome. We're thrilled you're here. Okay, so I'm going to do a projection real quickly. So I'm not sure. Oh, there you go. Okay. I don't know if you want to speak to this, Marie, a little bit. So I thought this was information as well that we could share with the community and maybe put it on the Radnor Township homepage as well.
Yeah, I think right after the last meeting, I had sent this and the brochure for the Crisis Connection team, and after I send it to all of you, I believe I had it posted on the website as well.
Great. So once again, this is a warm handoff type line, right? So people, you know, if you have issues or concerns, and is it 24/7?
I believe so. It's a mental health support line
Okay,
for
great.
people who are potentially at risk for a crisis.
Yeah, that's great. So they'll screen them appropriately and then do the appropriate referrals. So thank you so much. Okay, and this is more information regarding crisis as well, Delaware County Crisis Connection. So once again, the public can see the numbers. So if people can't cope or need someone to talk to, you know, feeling overwhelmed, et cetera, there's a number you can call. So that's a wonderful resource. Okay, so Superintendent Flanagan, I don't want to pull you in at the last minute, but this was something that Superintendent Flanagan of the Radnor Police sent out, and we're all aware of what occurred tragically about Lyft and Uber. So just making sure when you open your app up and making sure that you have the correct driver, the correct license plate, that sort of thing before getting an Uber, and just really a township safety you know, awareness. So making sure you're getting into the right Uber or Lyft, always confirm against the name, match the driver's name before getting into the car, and then make sure you're encouraging ourselves as well as youth, friends, family to really make sure you're with a friend. So that's enough said on that.
You can also confirm with a photograph of the driver.
Oh, wonderful.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then this is what Phil and Lewis had done in terms of Twitter. So you kind of spoke nicely to that, but it was every day. And so I saw the postings. That's great. So it was gender and sexual development, nutrition, oral health. Wednesday was preventative care and vaccines. Thursday, violence and mental health. Friday, substance abuse and misuses. Saturday, community-specific teen vaping. And then on Sunday, talked about sleep and more about that. And it was really nice because I like the way you put the links in there to the resources, so that was great. And kudos to you for doing that. So thank you very much. And I don't have the pictures here. Was the team? Okay. Hi there, thanks. All right, and this, finally, I don't want to embarrass you guys, but I'm very proud of you. So we had our 2 teen interns nominated for Teen Health Awards at up in Rosemont a week ago Sunday. So they were nominees for Teen Champions. So kudos to them. So it was a really nice event. We had Quizzo and we had various mascots. And Dr. Schartz, Hopko, and myself were there to celebrate that. So congratulations for being nominated. So I know you're probably embarrassed to put your picture up. Okay, and that's it.
And Linda, who was the nomination? Who nominated them?
So Dr. Schartz, Hopko, and I
Okay.
wrote letters of support and recommendation, as well as, I guess, someone from your school, maybe a teacher, coach. So you needed a total of 3 nominations.
But what was your organization? I'm sorry.
So it was Dr. Laura Offit's
Oh, okay, all right.
organization. So
Okay.
it was really nice. We got goodie bags, T-shirts, gifts, that sort of thing. So, teen awareness. And then the Quizzo, a lot of the stuff was around trivia and some good teen information. So like vaping and different hot topics. Marie sent something out about the Wheels of Wayne and looking for some volunteers for Sunday, May 5th, 1 to 4, for a Board of Health representative. And I think Charlie had said he would go for part of the day, from what I understand from your email. And I didn't know if we had another representative. Okay, that'd be great. So Charlie, any idea what time you wanted to be there?
How long is it supposed to go?
So it looks like it's 1 to 4, correct? All right, and then what is our role exactly being there?
I think my understanding was, I got a note from Superintendent Flanagan that they just wanted to have a representative from the Board of Health to offer the services that are out there that you all have researched over the last few months regarding suicide prevention programs. They thought maybe it was a good way to get all those resources out to the community. Yes, they're going to provide a table, and we can gather some extra materials or handouts, on our end, the township end. We can also supply for your table if you want to distribute.
Would you feel comfortable doing that? Okay, that'd be great. And then Kathy, whoever, if you want to get back to me, Charlie, any particular time frame that you're thinking about would be better for you?
I think like 1 to 2, something like that range.
All right, thank you. That'd be great. And then we'll just go through email and see if anybody else has an interest to be there. That would be great. I know I probably won't be there, so, but anybody that would step up, that would be great. Because I think it's important to have representation and we can get some questions, feedback, and awareness of our great board and the things we do. Just to back up to Radnor, Ready 100, I did receive a letter from Sarah Pelling that we got recognition from Dalen Leach, the senator for the 17th District, congratulating Radnor Township passing the Ready for 100 resolution. She notes that it demonstrates the community's commitment to a clean environment, renewable energy, and leaving a healthier planet for our children. I cannot commend Radnor Township enough for being the trailblazer on this initiative. So it was a nice letter. So we'll move forward. We'll probably hear more about this and different initiatives that other surrounding communities have approved.
There is a speaker that's coming to Villanova during their Earth Week activities, or Earth Day activities, and I believe he is going to speak about health issues related to climate change. I'm on the list because I'm a neighbor. Now, I can't get specifics. I don't have specifics like what time and where, but I will try to attend that if they open it up to the public. Usually they do. They just send us a link and say, come show up or register. But I'll get more details. It is during, I think it's the 25th or 24th, during whatever Earth Day week is.
That'd be great, and I
I'll
wonder.
find out.
Yeah, you know what, maybe we could get Sarah, like, get an email together and see.
Yeah.
Is it just for neighbors?
I don't know, because I get a lot of emails from them because I'm a neighbor.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, just keep us in the loop.
I will.
That'd be great, thank you. All right, we talked about the suicide prevention resources. Okay, so for presentations, we have for May, stroke awareness. I have a speaker confirmed. Hopefully, we'll talk about the new pavilion at Bryn Mawr Hospital. And then we were thinking about some mental health presentation in May.
I was able to contact a psychologist who is at Thomas Jefferson University, and he is an expert in youth suicide prevention. And he is willing to come out in May, and we figured about an hour's worth of presentation, which would be with his limitations in time from 6 to 7. However, I understand there's a conflict.
Would that be with the Board of Commissioners?
Is that what?
I just happened to notice that there is a Board of Commissioners meeting right after our meeting next month. I mean, I can make the call or find out for sure tomorrow.
That would be great, because he has committed, and it would be nice if we can stick with it. So if you can let me know, that would be wonderful. Okay, great, thank you.
So I guess the question is, do we want to extend the meeting? Because in order to get through our agenda items, we probably need 30 minutes, correct? And then you have an hour presentation, so I didn't know what the board thought.
Well, if he's coming at 6, you've already got stroke on here. We're not going to have time. Start at 5:30, be done at 6. Why don't we find out for sure if we can go to 7? You're saying he wants to do an hour? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we figured an hour, just would be enough.
Okay.
It might be under, but probably with, he'll do a small presentation, then we can do Q&A, or if we had community here or some of teachers, administrators that we would invite, there might be some people in the audience that might have questions to ask.
Yeah, I would agree. But Marie, you need to find out if because they go at 6:30, they start at 6:30, usually. Okay.
So if we do decide to move ahead, do you think we have too much going on that month?
Yeah. Yeah. So is he willing to come for a half-hour presentation? Does he need an hour? Because our entire meeting is scheduled for an hour. We have a meeting, we have stroke awareness, and a pavilion presentation. So that's a pretty jam-packed May.
The answer is I don't know. I could contact him, because we were going to be in touch after this meeting to see exactly what it is that the expectation was of him. And so I was going to put it out to the board to ask, well, what do you guys think in terms of what should be presented, how we should go about this time of an hour or less?
Or would it be feasible to do something on another date and have a special date? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. We've already confirmed them, but because I envision this to be bigger if we're inviting community and a lot of questions and answers. That's just my own take.
So I'm a little confused. So is the presentation for us, or are we putting together a presentation for the community? So I don't know which of those it is.
My understanding is that he would be the primary presenter, and that we would invite the community to attend, and if they had any questions, that they would be able to ask him questions directly, since he has an area of expertise in this matter. So we really would be the facilitators, so to speak. But I do think that's a lot. Well, I could find out. I mean, what's up for June?
So
Is that-
Dr. Khanna's colorectal cancer awareness, I mean, I could bump one of these, like the stroke awareness.
But it doesn't matter what month, and an hour is a great program. If it's for the community, fine. I think we might want to think about setting up an hour before or an hour after on a time when the room is available and invite community, or post it on the website and clearly define a set of topics that we're asking for the community, and do that as a service to the community. And we could do it on a day of a meeting where we truncate, so we do our meeting 5 to 5:30 and do a 4 to 5 or something along those lines. But I think if we're going to do an hour presentation for the community, I don't know how we're going to fit that into a board meeting, doesn't matter which month.
I agree. I think it's a lot. I think you would need to extend our meeting at least another half an hour.
I think that if we do this, that should really be the only presentation on the agenda for that meeting.
So we're talking May 20th? May 20th?
Mhm.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
I would just cut the stroke awareness, if we can do the 20th here, have them come in at 6 to 7, do ours in a half an hour, just cut any presentations for May. If we can do 6 to 7 here. It says the 2nd and 4th, did they move their meeting? We're the 3rd. Because of Memorial Day, maybe? Did they move it up? Yeah, yeah.
It's scheduled for the 20th, I don't know.
Yeah, because Memorial Day is the last Monday, so I bet they moved theirs up. Yeah, that's probably what's going on. Because they're usually 2nd and 4th. We're the 3rd, but Memorial Day is that last Monday, so I bet they moved theirs up. Yeah.
All right, so.
Well, they're right next door. We can ask them. They're in the executive meeting right next door.
The
so-
the other thing we could do is move,
Yeah, I'm not-
They
I'm
can
not
just knock on the door and
interrupting
ask.
can we move our meeting 5 to 5:30 and then have the guests 5:30 to 6:30, not bump into them, and do our business a half an hour ahead? I'd certainly be willing to do that.
So, yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Okay,
Okay,
so the proposal is to start our meeting at 5 o'clock instead of 5:30, and still have the other two presenters?
No, do our business 5 to 5:30, have one presentation, have it 5:30 to 6:30, and invite the public.
Right.
He can't be here till 6.
Oh.
So,
Problem there is that apparently the Board of Health is in here starting at 6:30, so we don't have this room, and we couldn't relocate, and this would be the best room for a presentation to the public in terms of what's available.
right, but Maria was going to find out if they could use another room. That,
So we'll bump the board, huh?
yeah,
Well, why not?
Unless you want to hold it to June.
I could come.
Is he confirmed?
He's confirmed on that date from 6 to 7.
Wow.
So I'm wondering if you could reach out to him, maybe for June. I'm just thinking outside the box. So, because I do foresee it being big. Like, I do foresee, it would be great to have him here.
Right.
Have the resources, have a lot of debate and talk, and not have any other presentations.
I agree. I will
I think their
contact him.
Dr. Conant would be behind, we could move that around.
Okay, I will,
Some information. So the meeting is in this room, the board of commissioners meeting is in this room on the 20th, so we'd have to be out by 6:30. There's an option to go upstairs for our meeting. It's smaller, but it has a podium and the speaker could, speak. Or we do have an option starting board of health meeting earlier, but we just have to put out a legal notice ahead of time.
I think it'd be great to have you here. I know we confirmed them, but thinking like you're the expert and having that, I know you're not going to be here during that meeting, right? Are you away?
no, I'll be there. In
Oh,
May,
okay.
you mean?
Okay, yeah.
No, I'll be here.
Okay, I thought you were
just
traveling.
can't do that
We could also
program
move
of
the meeting to
May
May
5th.
13th.
It's May 13th?
We could also change our meeting
Okay.
to talk to him. Like,
Okay. So
George
he,
is going to be out because a smaller room, if we're getting public,
Yeah.
a smaller room isn't going to fit a bunch of people.
So we're going to have to ask him to move either
right.
to 5:30 to 6:30 on the 20th, or to move our entire meeting to the 13th, make it an hour and a half on that date.
Okay.
And make him 6 to 7, and we'll do 5:30 to 6, and he'll do 6 to 7 on the 13th, or we'll do 5 to, no. Well, that's the third option. But in May, the option would be move our meeting to the 13th of May. We meet from 5:30 to 6, and his program is 6 to 7 in this room on the 13th of May. We keep it on the 20th of May. We meet from 5 to 5:30, and he's here from 5:30 to 6:30. Apparently, he thinks it's 6 to 7, but if he could move up a half an hour, or we could move the whole thing to June. I think those are our three options,
Yeah.
yes?
I think it might be a little tight on May 20th with, if it's moving and there's a dynamic going on, and say, okay, everybody stop, we have to get out and, vacate the premises, that's going to be a little difficult.
And ideally, they like us out of this room by 6:15.
Right.
Sure, and understandably so, sure.
It sounds to me like the best option is move our meeting to the 13th of next month, have him here 6 to 7, and have our stated meeting at the same time, but finish our business by 6 so that he can.
Now, if I propose that to him, is everybody okay with that?
Sure, so
May
I'll
13th.
just move around. Now, would I be able to have, should I do something, just, that's the only presentation?
Don't do a stroke now,
Okay,
if we can move him to 13.
okay. And then we could talk about the Bryn Mawr Hospital thing maybe in June?
So you'll let us know.
Yeah, I will I'll send out an email tonight when I get home, and and he's very good about getting back to me, so I should be able to let you know ASAP.
Okay, that's great. Thank
Good,
you so
okay,
much.
great.
It's so important. You've done a lot of work. I think it warrants, and then to get it out there to the public. I don't know if we want to maybe have a counselor available, or he could do that, or to debrief people, because I worry
He is a
that-
counselor,
Right.
he's a practicing psychologist.
Yeah, I worry that people come
Sure.
and maybe really need to talk and vent.
Right, and the other thing too, what you can do is you can, as a facilitator, really watch what people are asking, and then say, that might be a good question for somebody else or at another time. But this is more information seeking than anything.
So if it's a mental health awareness in general, is it possible to have the topic broadened beyond just suicide awareness and prevention, but from a public health point of view? I think mental health plays into an awful lot of the public catastrophe that we've seen in terms of mass shootings and those kinds of things, and mental health awareness written larger than just suicide prevention. That may not be possible, but I would wonder if that would be.
I think the topic is so enormous
Yeah.
that we would be here a long
Forever.
time. I think being specific is probably the best way to go right now, given the fact that this is a very timely topic. And I just think we'd be opening a can of worms if we extended into other areas of mental health and mental health awareness. So that's my opinion.
I have to echo your concern, because I work in a hospital environment, and but what we could take from that, if we identify key issues, we could definitely carry it on from there. So if we, want to talk about that later on, definitely we can bring that up down the
Right.
road. But I do think narrowing the topic and keeping it specific is the way to go right now, and then down the road, maybe look at that.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. All right, I will be back to you guys as soon as I can.
Okay, so I think we sort of have a plan for next May, so we'll just communicate really well through email and make sure everybody's on the same page, and then we hear back from each board member, so we're really crystal clear if we change the date, so that would be really important. Okay, do we have any announcements? Okay, any public participation? Okay, come on up. I think we have a tech person, and we.
Tech person back
Okay, great.
there. Okay.
Okay, that's great. Just state your name and where
I'm
your
Carrie
residence.
Kurtz. I'm a Radnor resident and founder of Trust and Go. I'm working with another Radnor resident, Tony Imparato, along with the support of the Philadelphia Startup Leaders Program to solve a problem in our community. And I've prepared a slideshow presentation. I'd like to show it to you. KURTZ. Yes.
There's a, on the Radnor Public, it's going to open up a.
Okay, it should be good.
Yeah, let me, I just have to go back and turn it on.
I'd like to have him around when I'm trying to turn on my TV at home, because I still can't turn it on. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
How'd you do that?
It's still in a.
So now, do I just hit the space bar? Should be. Present. Go to present right there.
It's because of the aspect ratio.
Yeah, is that good?
Screens. And then I think you should be able to cycle through with a space bar.
Okay, yeah,
Just use
so I
the
can
up
go
and down
back.
arrows to proceed through it.
Okay, so down, just use the down arrow.
Proceed.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, so my company is Trust and Go, and I'm trying to solve a problem that we have, and that is that busy parents don't have a trusted, reliable, efficient way to safely transport their children, especially in the middle school and high school years, where rides become unpredictable for parents. I found in the middle school years that my kids joined new teams, made new friends, and I couldn't rely on the same group of friends that I relied on in the grade school years. So this situation leads parents to leave work early, spend hours in traffic and in pickup lines, and then sometimes kids are left alone and they don't like to wait. And often schools will have long, time-consuming pickup lines filled with gas-guzzling SUVs. We all see them, right? So I surveyed many parents in the community, and what did I learn from them? I learned that 78% of parents that I surveyed relied on their friends for rides. I also learned that many parents are using Uber and Lyft for their kids. And even though it is illegal, we are still doing it. I've done it when I've been desperate. And worried parents stay on the phone with their middle schoolers the entire ride home, and they feel anxious about the driver that they don't know. So I designed an app for busy parents that provides immediate access to a trusted network of friends who will always get your kids where they need to go. And with 3 screens, parents can get their kids where they need to go by communicating with their friends that they know, while sharing positive karma and feedback, and it promotes community building. So what we've done is we've created a wide and deep network of trusted drivers in your community. It's easy to use with integrated safety features. It gives parents the option to choose drivers while breaking down social barriers, and maximizes carpool options, leaving you as the parents in control as it should be. So there are some other companies out west doing similar progressive type of ride sharing. Some of them charge, and some of them hire drivers. With my design, it's you picking the parents, no one else. It's your decision. We also have a Harvard psychologist on board to help us help parents earn social equity and promote community building. And this shows you how TAG intelligently increases your network to friends by making connections to friends on sports teams, on activities, and in your neighborhood that you wouldn't otherwise know. It can also use your geographic information to make efficient connections for rides. And we're hoping that TAG will benefit our community by decreasing the number of cars in the pickup line, decreasing the amount of time parents are spending in the pickup line, decrease the amount of gas or the carbon footprint, decrease the number of times parents have to leave work early, and increase the quality of time parents have with their children, not running from activity to activity and missing out on all the activities, and increase community building and gratitude. So we're trying to help those parents of middle school and high school children needing rides for their kids, parents who work full-time and part-time, divorced or single parents, or busy parents with multiple kids. We're targeting private or educating public and private schools, private organizations, and just parents. We've reached out to Bud Tosti at St. Catherine's, who is very progressive, and when I spoke to him the other day, he said, if I have a choice of putting one of my children in a tag car or an Uber or Lyft, it's really no question. So we're hoping that other schools in the area are going to embrace this and use it. So I just wanted to make you aware of it. We are beta testing presently with a small group of parents at Radnor, and St. Catherine's is coming on board this week. And I would love any feedback or any ideas from any of you if you have them.
Thank you very much for bringing this to our attention, Carrie. So do you go in and register? Like if I was a parent, I would go in and register my car?
So you would, right now we're trying to, we thought this safe approach, originally it started off as an idea to reach out to parents, but it seems like it makes the most sense to have schools come on to the network, and then you can participate through the school. So right now we're just focusing on bringing on schools and helping those communities work together.
Really neat idea, because I've, as a parent, have been stuck with that situation,
Yeah.
getting my son around.
Just a quick question. Are your drivers required to get state and FBI clearance?
State?
And FBI clearance?
Yeah, so we're going to have that as an option on there. So how it's set up is that, and I'm meeting with the superintendent of schools on Wednesday, so just to see if this is an option for Radnor schools for next year. But I'm looking to get feedback from him. So of course it would be an option on there. But I don't think it would be a requirement. So parents ultimately have the decision to make, like if one of their neighbors offers them a ride, they can ask them any questions about their driving history or background checks that they want. And if they don't have a background check, if it is optional, then they can make a decision not to use that person. So it's really up to the parents, whether or not the schools, if the schools bring it on, thinking that that the schools may require, if they want to participate, they may require that background check. And it would also, like right now, when I went through Radnor schools and I wanted to participate as a volunteer or Canadensis or any of these other programs, I had to go get a background check. So this may be a way for the township to keep track of background checks without all the paperwork and the time-consuming aspect of going through that process. There would be an easy background check company doing all the work through the app.
How would it
I'm
work?
not sure it's an option. I think it's required by state law. But anyway, I would strongly recommend that you require it, regardless of the.
Yeah, I agree. I think if it's in the schools, I think it should be. But it's a $55 fee to have the background checks that I want, so I think it may just have to be if parents want to participate, they have to get the background check. Why not? I would do it.
Now, how does it work in terms of equality with some parents using this and then other parents not participating? How would you work that
So
out?
we've looked at a couple of models. We were hoping that in the profile it would say rides given, rides received. So we were hoping that parents might care about that number and not just be a taker and be a giver. But I think what Tony and I have discussed is going to work best is that if everyone starts with a ride credit, that they can use that credit, but then in order to ask for another ride, you have to give a ride. So you're going to have a bank with ride credits, and there's other companies like HomeAway that work on a system like this. So those parents who are working that can't really give rides a whole lot, maybe that one day they're off, they can see a ride in the ride feed that's really close to their home, because you're going to be able to see the quick ride. So maybe they'll offer a ride to a friend on days that they're off in order to get rides during the week, or maybe on weekends. So I think the ride credit system is the fairest way to do it. But it's something we're all doing anyway, and we're not always getting credit for it. I give rides to my friends, so this is just like a nice way to do it, which expands your network to more people that you know and trust.
All right, well, thank you very much. We really appreciate that presentation. And in the respective time for the Board of Commissioners meeting, we're going to wrap up. So anybody else? We're ready to adjourn? So the next meeting, we are pending, so we will definitely decide on a date, whether it's May 13th or May 20th, and we'll correspond via email, and that will be posted on the Township website once we decide. All right, thank you. Adjourned.